drunk women are way more invasive to me after a comedy show than men are. Because if they like me, now they feel like we're just girls, right? And
well,
like,
women.
hi, and I'm like, okay, those are my breasts. It's like,
she goes up to the last comic where she's like, "You were so funny. Don't yourself." The rest of us were just like.
And he goes, "Build a wall." And that was his thought about Miami.
Good for him.
Yeah, and I was like, I wish I could build a wall between me and you, like right now. This is terrible. And that's how you know you don't like somebody on a date too, when you're just pounding shots and drinks, and you're like, I shouldn't need this to get through.
To get through it, yeah.
Or I shouldn't need this to want to.
I think I just do that because I have a drinking problem, but
alcohol does make things better.
I'm just like good. Like he's like, you drank 7 beers. I've had 2. I'm like, whoops, that's not my fault.
Oopsies.
Size though, because this would definitely give me a yeast infection.
I hate going to the gym and I can't stand being set up.
It feels like I just had a one-night stand and I'm like, where's his bed sheet? Okay.
Where are my Cubans at?
Where are my Cubans at?
We got one right here.
Hello. Okay.
Should we tell the story?
Yeah.
We'll leave out names.
Yeah. No, that's fun. Danny found
Benevente.
Who was supposed to be here?
Who was supposed to be here, but reason undisclosed. Is he hungover?
I have no. I don't know. Yeah, maybe he might be a little bit.
It's okay if he is. I love how did he tell you out of fear?
He just like almost like a dude like in a shitty B horror movie that's just not gonna make it. He was like, just tell her I'm sorry.
I tried my best.
They didn't even tell you directly?
No, Oriel's like, Danny says he's very sorry, but he's not going to make it.
That's when he's scared. That's when you tell dad you did something wrong before you tell mom.
Before you tell mom.
You're like, can you tell her, please? Can you break it for me?
Exact breaking the news. And I'm like, I know you're hungover, Danny. It's fine. You could have just texted me.
I thought he had only budgeted like 45 seconds of consciousness, you know? So he was just like, tell her I'm out.
I'm going to undo my pants because I'm bloated.
Fuck yeah.
That's Chipotle. That's because you're a beta. You can't deal with the hot sauce.
Yeah, I'm a beta. I can't
That's a long day at the factory. She sits down on her inflatable couch.
Then I wonder why men are like, you have too much masculine energy. And I'm like, well, let me tell you something.
Dude, if I have too much masculine energy, we're fucked. I don't have enough.
Yeah, well. So where are my Cubans at is one of my...
Yeah. Danny found it's just funny. Because comics, when they start writing their notes, you know, like sometimes we don't know how to start or whatever.
Yeah.
So you just go with like the most thing that you got.
I like that you're defending her.
I'm not. Because it's indefensible. But it was just hilarious.
Defends a lot of people that Shaw and I would murder with our bare hands.
Because I just
We're
see
gonna
like
start a group chat without him.
Yeah, we do. Well, first off, because he has a fucking Android, so we have to start a group chat without him.
Yeah, we can't even kick him out.
Sick. Honestly, really?
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm definitely staying.
We've sent so many coded messages that you've never received.
Fuck you guys.
I
man.
know.
iPhone users are literally racist.
Who's
it's like
racist?
A supremacist
energy. I can live with that. So.
Yeah. No,
I can live with that.
You fit perfply.
I can live with that. Yeah.
I'm part of the elite. I'm an iPhone owner.
Yeah.
Which iPhone do you have? I have the January 6.
6S.
Yeah. The January 6X.
I have the special Capitol Riot edition of the iPhone. So it's very. I'll give context for our listeners so they're not. 3 comics here: Shaw Smith, Oriel Rodriguez, Brittany Brave. We're probably going to end up talking about stand-up the whole episode.
Yeah, perfect.
Because that's what we already do.
Yeah.
All the time.
And how much we hate it.
But can't not do it. And also how much we love and hate the people we do stand-up with. So a comic's notebook it's special. It's protected, right? It's a kind of like an unspoken word that you don't touch or open or steal another comic's note. You never, if you think reading a diary, somebody else's diary is rude, it's 10 times worse with a comic's notebook, right?
Yeah, because you read someone's diary, you're like, oh, you read a comic's diary, you're like, this person should be put down.
Yeah.
You're like, they're a piece of shit, you know?
Yeah, you read a comics notebook, you're like, this person should be committed.
Yeah.
Honestly.
They're so bad.
I lost my notebook last week when we were in St. Pete. I don't know if I left it in St. Pete or if it's floating around South Florida.
Kenny's just looking at it every night, reading it before he goes to bed.
Maybe, but Kenny's a comic, so it doesn't matter what the fuck is in there. Kenny's going to be like, that's going to be a great bit one day.
Yeah.
Like, she's going to figure it out. But it's like, you open up my notebook, and it's just like, Biden, vibrator, dark internet, cocaine, mom, backseat, or whatever. And people are like...
Incoherent, schizophrenic, Unabomber level
exactly,
thoughts.
And they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, just trust the process.
Bro, my first notebook got leaked when I was, even before I did my first set, because I was like thinking about it. I was with this girl, and it was not good, the situation. So, and she was kind of mean, and I just started like writing like little jokes when I was first thinking about
You were
doing
writing
stand-up.
about her?
No, just horrible comedy. You know,
Yeah.
just like fourth
About
grader
her.
essays.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a little bit.
About her, yeah.
And then whatever, we got in a fight, and then she goes, "Oh, by the way, I read your notebook. What the fuck is all that? It sucks." And I was just like, "Fuck you, bro." And then we broke up, and then I started comedy.
That's how you knew it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, even before comedy, I was already getting my notebook fucking roasted. So like, you just don't want someone to find that.
You
know?
don't, because there's no context, and it's personal thoughts and ramblings, and sometimes I have existential crises in there as well too. But it's just only you understand it, right? So,
But
there is a air quote bunny ear quotation mark comic down here in South Florida.
Danny found her the notebook.
Take it away, Oriel. Danny found her notebook.
Yeah, and he flips to the first page.
Which I feel like if someone leaves their notebook like after the show, you got to look through it to see whose it is to get it back to them. You know.
I have had to look through a notebook to see who it was to
And I
return
feel
it
like
to the
you
owner.
can typically figure out who it is without even a name in it. You can just see like 3 things, like, okay, I know who this is.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Has barbecue sauce, a little jizz.
Right.
Depressed note.
You know, just by all of the slugs and all the words in it, you're like, this is Shaw's notebook.
Yeah.
This is
The
Oriel's
misspelling,
notebook.
yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And by this person's notebook, you would know that it was their notebook because if you can't tell, we don't think that they are very good at comedy. Nor do we know why they do it. It's okay. I'm not saying their name.
But you open with your killer shit, right? So you open with your killer shit. So on page
Right.
1, Danny opens it, finds it out, and right on the very top,
Yeah.
written in huge bubble letters, here to start off the great show is just
Where my Cubans at? Which
Question mark.
This was a show in Miami.
Does
which
that even
is
need to go on like your set list or your notes, anyways?
But you can't
know?
forget
Like,
that one.
killer opener.
Yeah.
That's like you make sure you put at the top. How's everyone doing tonight? You know, how's everyone doing?
You put at
tonight?
the top of your
Make sure
page-
you forget that. Make sure you don't forget this.
Thanks for having me. And then at the end, you put, thanks, guys. Good night.
Yeah.
Get home safe. I've been Brittany Brave. Yeah. So where my Cubans at is just hysterical.
Just ridiculous.
And we all are in a group chat together, even with Oriel's Android. And we share this, and everyone's laughing. And then Oriel, Danny, and I go to Sunshine City Comedy Club, great club. Just did it with Shaw. And we are laughing about this the whole weekend. And I said, Danny, I'll give you $100 if you open up your set with where my Cubans at.
Just to see if it's material that can translate from area to area, you know?
And just see
Because
if
maybe
you
in
can-
Miami that'll kill. That's a
Right.
good closer.
I could have told you no before you even did that.
Yeah. I don't even think it worked in
Do
Miami.
they even allow Cubans in St. Pete?
I don't think so. Those are the whitest
That
crowds
was
I've
the whitest crowd I've ever seen.
ever performed. I don't even think there was like Hispanic. I think everybody was like Caucasian.
No, they're white. They're white.
They're
full
white.
white.
They,
Like,
kick the real Cubans off a
They
raft
made
into the
me
Gulf.
feel
They don't care.
non-white. That's how white they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaw's like, I basically felt Cuban.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah, 'cause
I
they're
was-
white
I
and
felt like I
moisturized.
was the minority there.
Yeah. It's a good comedy town, though. St. Pete's good.
True.
After Miami, I think the 2 biggest Florida comedy scenes are probably South Florida. Well-
Orlando's pretty up there.
Orlando's up there. I would say South Florida, Orlando, and Tampa, St. Pete.
Yeah.
I think everything else is kind of.
What?
What about Sarasota, Florida, guys? What's going on?
What's the club that they have in Sarasota?
Kissimmee has got some stuff going on.
Well, Kissimmee's Orlando.
Kissimmee's are- There's not shit.
Tallahassee? No, I'm just naming. Clark County, guys. Big shows.
Gainesville.
Gainesville. I have a private gig in Gainesville on Wednesday
Have fun with that.
at an equestrian village.
What?
Speaking of very white.
Yes, I am going to open
Yeah,
with
you should open where my Cubans at. They're gonna pull out their guns and be like, hopefully not here.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna be like, they're not allowed on
build
this
a
village,
wall.
right? Oh, remember that? When we were at Sunshine City this last week, I started doing some Miami material, and I looked at an old, overweight white man in the corner, just like an old husband in the corner, and I don't even know. Did I even engage with him? I think I just said something about Miami.
Was the guy that had 10 kids?
Jesus
He
Christ.
has 10 kids.
Yeah, they have him and his wife have 10 kids.
And
Alpha.
I said, I'm from Miami and I'm based in Miami. And he goes, build a fucking wall. And that was his thought about Miami.
Good for him.
Yeah, and I was like, I wish I could build a wall between me and you.
Yeah.
Like right now, this is terrible. Or build a wall.
What a savage, bro.
Yeah.
They're just out there at a comedy club. That's what I like about people, too. It's just they're just out at a comedy club, like, supposed to enjoy their time, having a good time.
Yeah.
You say one thing, and then instantly, they CNN Fox News it.
Yeah, and
they
that's
just
what's-
snap out of it. They're like, fucking kill them all.
It's a funny thing that they'll call like liberals triggered, but I'm like, the conservatives are just as like triggered by things that they don't like. Yeah.
His wife was crazy too. When I was in the parking lot smoking when you were on stage, and she left early to go pick up their kids.
Yeah.
And I was walking to my car, and she goes, "You look like a thug." And I turned. And I just turned around and I was like, "What?" And then I fucking robbed her. So
You're like, well, I'm not gonna make a
Stole her
liar out of
purse.
you. Here we are. Yeah.
You should have.
The conversation with audience members after a comedy show is such a delicate thing, because it's either like they just say batshit stuff to comedians after a comedy
Yeah, they'll put you
show.
down without even realizing it.
Yeah.
Or it just seems like it, and you're just like talking to me like, wait, what happened here?
Yeah, or they just try to corner you into like their weird hat. Like, do you guys have any stories about that? Like,
I've had a guy try to get me to bang his wife after a show.
Oh.
Yeah, that was. He offered to pay me $500.
Cock
I was
or bull?
like, that's 5 times what I made at this show tonight.
Yeah.
And twice as funny.
Yeah. Was he gonna like cuck and watch?
Yeah, he wanted to watch, but they were disgusting. So I was like, I was like, maybe if it was $5,000, but not $500.
That's how you
here.
know that your wife is pretty ugly, because comics are really broke, and if you got a free $500,
You won't touch her.
You
I
won't
was
touch
like,
her.
I was like, this won't even be a good story for my friends because she is gross.
Yeah, I can't
She
even
is
brag about
disgusting,
this. Yeah. You're like, I think you just don't want to.
I think he just wants somebody else to
Just to
fuck her,
fuck
so
his
he doesn't
wife.
have to. Yeah, so he doesn't have to. That's what it seems
You
like.
know what you are? You're a tax write-off at that point. That's it.
She's been fogging up the bathroom mirror. She's in heat. I need help, brother.
I don't want to
Tame
touch
this
her.
bull.
I don't want to touch her. What about you? Any audience member stories?
You know, just a lot of like, for some reason, older women just feel like they can approach me.
Yeah.
Like way more than other people.
Yeah.
So I'll just get like a nice petite older woman, and then she'll just say some savage shit to me, like not even realizing it. Like they'll hit you on baldness a lot. They'll be like, "It's so good that you're just be doing this." I'm like, I'm not. I don't have progeria. Like I'm gonna fucking die
You're like,
or something.
I'm willingly doing this.
Yeah. It's just like, but
I
they're
can't
like,
believe you
oh,
would come up here with that little hair. You're so brave. You're
got
so
good
brave.
I love that
jokes.
they're like, that's smart that you're getting ahead of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, you're so smart. Yeah.
you know, sometimes you just got to work so much harder than the other one.
That's so funny. Yeah, well, I just think older women and older men in general, the convos are a gamble, because they come from like a different generation with a different set of beliefs. They don't know what's acceptable or
I
not.
have this look that people think they can just come up and say like mildly racist things to me, like I'll like agree with them, be like, "Oh yeah, I know how you feel," you know.
And then you're
I'm
like,
just
"I don't agree with
what
this."
I gotta go this way. I gotta go back inside.
Hey,
Yeah.
brother, funny stuff. You
Yeah.
want to burn some Korans
Yeah.
later in the parking lot? We got us and the boys
You're
usually
like,
get
"Dude,
together.
no. Yeah, this is not kosher. Well, it's like, as a woman, it's if you're a woman, and especially I feel like if you're a small woman, so you look especially non-threatening, I just get like lonely weirdos
Have you ever been picked up?
all the time. It's the worst. It's the worst. And people just think that they know you and that they can like do that
Yeah.
to you. And I'm like, I hate this when people I know do this
I
to
wouldn't
me.
even pick up someone I knew. Like what?
Right, because it's rude.
Yeah.
And did you know, Jamie and Emily told me that Brad Williams, he like has to tell people
Not to pick him up.
not to pick him up at the end of his set. I'm like, that's so fucking embarrassing for society.
Yeah, like what?
Not
Like,
him, for
I got it. Like,
society.
he's an Amazon package.
Yeah.
Like, I got you.
Yeah, or like men just like touch. Honestly, women, drunk women, are way more invasive to me after a comedy show than men are. Because if they like me, now they feel like we're just girls,
Yeah, we're
right? And
friends.
Well,
they're
women-
like, hi, and I'm like, okay, those are my
Yeah.
breasts. Like, let's.
Yeah.
You just molested me.
You
Thank
molested me. That's not in the name of feminism. Please don't do that.
What is that? That like enough alcohol and women are just like, yeah, we can sexually harass each other.
Yeah,
We're all in this together.
Me too.
Yeah. You're like, come on, bitch. Hey, get out here. Hey, aren't men gross?
Time's up. Time to fuck.
Yeah. Time's up. Oh my god.
Well, it's like, yeah, but women just get women. What I think it is. My theory is that alcohol lowers everybody's inhibitions, but it lowers women being in their head about other women, because I've had alcohol dismantle tension between me and another woman. Does that make any sense?
No, it makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that women get drunk and now everybody's feeling a little bit better and inhibitions are lowered, and now it like enables everybody to kind of buddy up to each other.
Yeah, you're like, you immediately shortcut past that first layer of politeness, and you're like, I'm fucked up, you're fucked up, you're not fucked up, but they're like,
Right.
you're fucked up.
Yeah.
Let's do it,
That's
bitch.
my favorite, when they put it on you.
Yeah.
They're like, we're so fucked up, and you're looking at them like, I'm one drink.
Because they've been watching this comedy show. It's 2 drink minimum. They've had 8, and
Yeah.
then at the end of it, they're just like, she's just as fucked up as me.
Yeah.
Because you're being crazier than they are.
Well, it doesn't. I think they also are like conditioned to hate you a little bit when you first get on stage. Like sometimes some women, it can be challenging, especially if she's like in the crowd with her guy and there's any kind of lack of trust there. She can't look at you and fully enjoy the show, or she's not honest with herself about the things that you're so open and honest with yourself about.
Competition.
Yeah. And then the alcohol kind of allows everybody to like buddy up. And also women cry when they get drunk. It's weird.
You ever had someone cry
They
talking to
cry
you?
when they're sober too. So
That's true. You're like,
maybe that's just my fault. But
yeah. You're like, when they're drunk, I'm like, I at least know it was the tequila. Yeah.
How do you
You're
think
just-
that woman
you're just
felt?
Drunk. You're just drunk. I didn't do that. You're just drunk.
You're
you
just
know?
drunk. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
just drunk. We'll
You're
talk
like-
about this tomorrow.
You call me a dumb cunt. No, you've had a couple.
Yeah.
You forgot. That's not. But yeah, it's crazy. Something like that happened when we were at Sunshine City last weekend where, going back to audience members being weird after shows, I hate when they do this. Hate it. Whether I'm the receiving end or not, you were my favorite.
When the other person's
It's
right
right
there?
there.
It's
Are you
so
talking about the
funny.
lady that did it to all of us too?
She did it to all. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how drunk she
She did
was.
it
She
to
walked
all
up
of
to
us.
all of us and went, "You're my favorite." And then we're like, "You just," like we're like, but it's awkward when you're the one who was the favorite because you're like, okay, it wasn't a competition. Like it makes you feel weird to receive it, and then it's really shitty when you're next to the one who was the favorite.
Unless,
my
unless
God.
you're on a show with people you don't like, then when someone says it to you, you're like, "Hi, you heard that, motherfucker? You heard
Exactly.
that?"
Like you're like, can
quit,
you say
quit
that
comedy.
a little bit louder? Can you say that louder? Yeah, but it happened over the weekend. And the woman was like to Danny, "You are my favorite. I loved you."
It was that drunk woman.
Yeah, you were the funniest. And then I was like, not in the mood, and I was like, "I'm right fucking here." And then she was like, "Oh my God." And then she really wanted to shake my hand,
She
and
really
I
wanted to
walked
pick you
away
up.
from her.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to have this conversation, but yeah.
One time I had
That lady kissed me on the cheek too. I thought she was like holding my face, and I was like, "Is this lady gonna try and kiss me on the mouth? Please, fucking don't right now."
Yeah.
And then she grabbed me and kissed me on the cheek, which is what you're also talking about. Drunk
Yeah.
ladies are just like, I can touch anyone.
There
you
is
know?
no boundary
Yeah,
at
I
all.
can
I've had
touch
them
anyone.
grab my tits, kiss me tried to kiss me on the mouth, on the cheek, grab a woman in Boston, like put her hands on. She was just yelling taint throughout my set. This is a completely true story.
That's the
like
most Boston thing I've ever heard.
I
That's
wasn't even-
hilarious.
She's like,
I was on material about like Jesus, and she was just like taint, and I was like, oh, fun. And then after the show, she picked me up. She violated everything, and then she was like, here it is, like
Jesus.
literally whole ass touching my taint.
a taint fetishist.
Yeah, and that's where women. I'm like, yes, I do feel more comfortable with women. I would hate if a guy did that, obviously, but I'm like, this isn't any better.
You call a SWAT team if a guy does that to you.
Yeah,
yeah, that's just how you say hi in Boston. Then, you know?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, where's your taint?
You say that, and then you do that, and then you just guys say the N word together.
Yeah.
you know? That's
Boston-
That's the
I-
Boston handshake.
One if by land, two if by sea. Fuck it, we're gonna make this happen.
Yeah, I hated Boston. Have you
Yeah?
ever performed in
I've
Boston?
No, I
never
haven't
been
been
to
to
Boston. I have no desire to go.
I hated it. I didn't like the people. I didn't like the crowds. I didn't like the vibe. I didn't like it. It felt vaguely racist. It felt weird. I didn't like. Yeah.
I just hate how they all sound like that, and they're like proud of being Irish, which is disgusting. So
Aren't you Irish?
I don't think so. I hope not. I fucking hope not. I hope not.
I really.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, pull up the 23.
Yeah, if I get a 23andMe, I'm gonna kill myself.
Where
so.
my Cubans
Yeah,
at?
where
Yeah.
my Cubans at? Oh, not on this 23andMe,
Oh, guys,
unfortunately.
fuck, I'm 7% Cuban. Shit. Or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Shit, I'm right here. The calls from inside the house.
Calls from inside the house.
Kill themselves.
Yeah.
after finding out.
Yeah. No, it's a gamble. You want to be nice to the audience members after a set, but.
It's hard. One time a lady came by. We were just lined up just like that, and she's
Mm-hmm.
doing the same thing. She goes up to the last comic. I forgot who it was. She's like, "You were so funny. Don't kill yourself." The rest of us were just like,
Okay.
It's like,
All
was
right,
my
I'll-
set that
I'll make
sad?
arrangements.
Jesus.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
I'll try to keep it together, I guess. Yeah, they just don't know how to speak to I guess like our job is really that weird to people.
There's also a lot of comics I know that their biggest fear is going outside when the show's over because they don't want to deal with any fucking people. They just
yeah.
stay in the green room. They wait till the show clears out.
Yeah.
And there's other comics that'll go take pictures with everyone. I have the issue. This is like the main reason I want to quit smoking is so I'm not always outside when the show's over.
Yeah.
Because then I get stuck in
Yeah.
these conversations, and I'm like, I just want to go back inside and get the fuck away from
But
you.
doesn't smoking help you get out of conversations indoors that are really terrible? Because you could always be like, I'm going to go have a smoke.
Yes, but I can also say that and not go smoke too, you know?
Exactly. Or they can follow you outside.
Yeah, or that'll happen too. Like, oh, I'll go with you. That's the worst thing. When you're trying to get out of a conversation, like, I'm
You're
going to go
like-
smoke. They're like, I'll go with you. I'm like, fuck.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
start sucking that thing down. You got an ash this long.
Can we talk about that? Like, Chris Renoir has a great bit. We love him here. We love him.
yes.
Great bit about, like, when your friends won't let you just not hang out with them. Remember that bit he
Yeah,
has?
he's
where
like, I don't
you're
like you guys. Yeah.
I don't like you guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
I
he's
think
like,
it's like my friends have like a solution to every answer I give them about not wanting to hang out.
yeah, like he's like, I don't have any money. We'll spot you.
Yeah.
My car broke down. We'll give you a ride.
man. He's the man.
This, whatever. And then it's so fun. Like, it's like, you ever just get stuck in like situations like that with people where you're like, I don't know how I have dropped every hint possible that I like want to be by
Oh,
myself.
fucking constantly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so brutal.
Yeah.
They just hit you up. They really are trying to make something happen, and
Yeah.
you are literally considering faking a family injury just to get out of it, and it's not even a big deal.
Yeah.
What is it about that?
I don't know. I just don't know how you grow up missing that many social cues. That's what my like bigger concern is.
I feel bad about myself because then I feel like I could have just saved a bunch of pain and time if I just went, I just don't want to. But that's just so hard to
But
do.
for some reason that comes off as rude. But how come you can't just not want to do something? You know?
Right.
It is
it's
true.
almost like,
yeah, and it's like society's always like, yeah, just be honest and just be straightforward. And it's like, we really aren't there yet as a
and then
society
people get
at
their
all.
feelings hurt. They're like, "You're rude." I'm like, "No, I just don't want to hang out with anyone right now."
At all. And it's, well, that's also goes back to like, you know, the book, The Four Agreements, too? No?
no, he doesn't read.
I'm talking to
I don't know
two
how
straight
to- I don't
men.
know how to
God
read.
forbid they read a self-help
I haven't
book.
read a book since 4th grade.
2 weeks ago?
Oriel's like, I can't
since
read.
my third time in 4th grade.
Going for the hat trick.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great book. Here, fuck me for thinking two straight dudes. It's like self-help. Not that you guys aren't, but it's life truths. And I usually hate things that are very popular.
Sounds gay.
Saucy.
There it is. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
I usually hate things that are overhyped, but it's a decent book and it's a quick enough read. And the Four Agreements are like, yeah, these are good principles to live life by, or whatever. I'll pull it up. But one of them is like, never take anything personally, like anything, like anything anybody does is because of them, and like you're not that big in the grand scheme and the
Yeah.
big picture. Like, yes, you can impact people, but people aren't really thinking about you. Like, don't take things so, like, that's how I feel with, like, no, I just want to be by myself, and people take offense to it. And you're like, it's actually has, like, nothing to do with you at all.
Yeah, comics could
I
benefit
have
from knowing that.
I have friends that are like that. Like, everything is worst case scenario. Everything is like, they take everything so personally. Like, if anyone's hanging out in our friends group, like 2 or more people, and they're not invited, they're like, was I specifically not chosen? Like, no, you just haven't hung out in 2 months. Why am I going to hit you up out of nowhere, you know?
Or realistically, like, the plan came together last minute.
It happened organically.
It happened
Yeah.
organically, and like, I don't know, I did not think to text you. And it's like, also, when you react like that, it's like, way to make me never want to hang out with
now
you
it's like, now
again.
I'm glad I didn't invite you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you still in this or not?
Yeah.
You still in the, you're like, we're not, I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
I didn't invite you. It's fair enough.
I gave that up in my 20s. I'm very happy to not be invited anywhere now.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care. I take no offense at all. Every single one of my close friends could be having the time of their life at a dinner or an event, and I'd be like, wow, I think I'm like kind of the only one who wasn't invited, and I would be like,
Sick. Sick.
sick.
It's that Larry David energy. You're like, that's great. Great. Good for you guys.
Yeah,
Getting
I-
invited to birthdays is the worst. It's always like something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, can we just do something a little more fun? Because this sounds awful.
Yeah.
You know? Especially when you're older and people are like, we're going to go to this club
Yeah.
and get a bottle. I'm like,
No.
I don't want to do that. I don't even like you that much. I don't even like you that much. I think I just decided this now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, can we all agree that getting a bottle at a table at a club, I don't think
It's the
anybody really likes doing
Stupidest
that.
thing you can
And
do.
they're always like, you want to pitch in this? I'm like, I don't even drink vodka. I'm not drinking that shit. I'm going to order my own drinks outside of this.
Literally, I don't want that overpriced shitty bottle of gin or vodka and then the watered down mixer. Like, I don't exactly. And then you're going to make me pay for this.
And then you ever notice that the bottle shows up and then like none of them want to sit down?
Yeah.
Like, so they're all just kind of like standing around a booth kind of shuffling around. It just looks like a bunch of confused people.
Everyone
They don't
looks
know what to do.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, because the dance floor's over there. They're here being better than everyone. But now that if they sit down, it's like over. So they're like, it's just a horrible situation.
Yeah.
I hated it.
It is, and I'm so convinced, and obviously, like, okay, I'm not gonna say 100%, but like 98% of the people, like, I'm like, do you really enjoy clubbing?
Yeah, I think they do.
I hate it. I absolutely
Really?
hate it.
Like, I think like, what if we just lowered the music a little bit, and instead of this overpriced bottle, everyone just got what they wanted? And what if we just moved somewhere where the lighting is normal and we could hear each other? And then they're like, oh,
But that's the problem.
yeah.
Hear
They're
each
like,
other.
No,
They don't
there's
want.
no hose there. You know?
I'm here to look
Like,
at
you're
shit.
not going to talk to anyone anyway.
Right, or that's true. In Miami, it's like, hear each other. No one wants to talk about anything.
Yeah.
Like, we just want to grind on each other, and that's
Yeah,
it.
it's like everyone's just got a fucked up voice. They're like, I can't reveal this. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
I just think it's like sensory overload, all of that. And I know I'm like an old lady, and I really don't like to go out.
Oh, horrendous.
Yeah,
I don't feel like I ever really enjoyed that kind of going out, though.
Not once.
yeah.
My buddy was rebounding after a little breakup with this girl, and she was a different type of girl than we usually hang out with. She was like that, like just,
Yeah.
and she would drag us out, bro.
Yeah.
Brickle these areas. I'd be out there at 5 a.m, just dead-eyed.
Yeah.
In a dance room, and I'm just like, this is not cool.
It's-
Someone's gonna think I'm a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like Blackbird.
Have-
We
you
had
have-
Blackbird.
Yeah, all that shit, all that shit. The Blackbird, the Ducandel, all these little places in Brickell. It's
cannot-
like,
people will throw out one of those bars in Brickell, and I'm like, nope, immediately.
I did drop Danny off at Blackbird last night when I dropped
That's
him
why
off,
he's
so
not here
that
today,
might be
because
why.
time is
Yeah, he's still
Construct
there clubbing
of-
right now.
It is. The last time I was at Blackbird was for a comedy show that was absolutely terrible. Did you do it? No.
The one that they did one time and they haven't done since.
And they haven't done it again. And it was Carlos. And Carlos goes, "What do you think is wrong with this room?" And I said, "Everything." I said everything.
30-foot high ceilings.
Right. The nightclub next door where you can hear.
Oh yeah, because it was at night.
It was at night.
shit.
And everybody's coked up and fucked up because that's what you go. You don't go there for the art of stand-up comedy. You go there for.
It's like when they do shows at strip clubs. You're like, what are we doing here?
I don't know.
Like,
That might be kind of fucking wild, but you're right.
I
yeah.
have done a show.
Yeah, but you ever watch
strip club
Sopranos
sucks.
when they're like just at the Bing and they're talking?
Yeah.
And then the ladies are talking business, and then a comic will go up, and Tony literally goes, "What the fuck is this guy doing? Get him off!" And then the guy's like, "Okay, sorry."
Yeah. I don't want fucking jokes. I want tits.
They're gonna murder you.
Yeah, exactly. But the last time, so I was there for that comedy show, and then the time before that, I was there with Carlos, Danny was there, I forget who else, and I think it was like the night I realized I was hammered because I drank more than I wanted to just to get through the bars we were hitting that night.
That's what I would do always. I would just start crowding the bar. I would spend like $200 on alcohol just to tolerate.
Yeah.
Because I'm just so not that.
Me either.
Yeah.
And that's how you know you don't like somebody on a date too, when you're just pounding shots and drinks and you're like, I shouldn't need this to get through.
To get through it, yeah.
Or I shouldn't need this to want to fuck him.
I think I just do that because I have a drinking problem, but
Alcohol does make things better.
I'm just like good. Like
Yeah.
she's like, you drank 7 beers. I've had 2. I'm like, whoops, that's not my fault.
Oopsies. Yeah.
Let me justify my
Whoops.
thing. I
Sorry,
have a process.
I'm nervous.
Yeah. It's my anxiety.
social battery, I need
Nervous.
Jameson.
I'm going through withdrawals.
But I'll get Danny to tell it when he's on the pod, but I was sitting there and I was drunk and I really wanted to go home. And I was like slouched down in the VIP area at a table with a bottle. And he to this day cracks up. Because did you hear about this story?
No.
Whereas like hoes were walking by and like Grand Theft Auto characters and Miami people, I was just going, "You're fucking stupid."
Yeah,
just like heckling
full
people.
Joker mode. Yeah.
I was like, "This is terrible. Why is anybody here?" Like just, and Danny was like, "Just leave." And I was like, "No, now I'm enjoying it." Like just roasting people.
I went from being tired to being straight hater mode 1000.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Fuck this.
He was
But that's
like-
what they should do, because honestly, if you get the VIP booth at a club,
Yeah.
that's what you think of people. You're
Yeah.
like, you're in the booth, because you're trying to be better than them. They should
Yeah.
give you megaphones with the bottle.
Yeah.
They should give you something so you just roast
That's
them
how
and be mean.
shootings happen at nightclubs. So.
You think so?
Yeah,
I think
100%.
so. That sets people off a
Yeah.
little bit.
Well.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Let's talk more about comedy in terrible places. Speaking of comedy at that bar, what's one of the worst places you've done comedy? Like somewhere that's not conducive at all.
Anytime I've done comedy, like in between bands, is the worst thing ever.
Okay. I disagree, but I want to hear your side of the story.
I hate it because I feel like in between bands, there's always like the band setting up behind you during your set. So
Sure.
annoying to begin with.
Right.
And then in between bands, it's like they just played a half hour
Yeah.
of loud music.
Yeah.
That's people's like turns to talk to their friends and to go get drinks at the bar. So no one gives a shit about you
Right.
when you walk up there to tell jokes when they were just there to see bands. Because first of all, no one ever really advertises it either.
Yeah.
They
It's
don't
just
advertise that there's comedy.
People show up to see these bands like, what the fuck is this guy doing comedy right now?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It always sucks. I feel like I've done maybe one show with a band out of like the 15 I've done that was worth doing.
Yeah. Okay, I hear you. I also think it depends on the genre and the vibe because I've done variety shows, but again, to your point, it was like advertised that there was going to be comedy music and a bunch, and it was kind of because the music audience pays a different attention. Granted, it wasn't like a screamo rock band or whatever, but they do pay a different level of attention when they're set up like that. But also, like, musicians have it so easy with getting a crowd's attention.
You also have 5 other people helping you out, you know? It's like
Right. And people hear like music and it kind of, I feel like you have to actively try to suck as a band.
Yeah.
You have to it's really hard.
I don't know about that.
Some bands suck. The vibe really just helps
about
them
that.
not notice that you suck. You know, because they're
Sure.
drinking, they're smoking, they're hanging out. But literally anything compared to a band, if you just have band and music and then you put on anything else, it might as well be juggling. Like
Right.
it's just who cares?
Right.
You know, especially comedy. I did shows. My God. I did shows back when I was like new. Back at Churchill's, they had like noise music. Do you know what noise is? It's just
does it sound
abstract
like
noise.
He's mansplaining noise to you.
It's
Yeah,
fucked
he's
up.
like,
You hear it in your
"Have
ears,
you
you
ever
know?
heard noise?"
Yeah, it's
It's
like,
like, you know when you hear your own voice and you're speaking as a woman, that's noise.
No.
You know those thoughts you have in your head?
you don't know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about, dude.
Okay.
It's fucking crazy.
Okay.
They would do a show like that, and it would
Is
just
it
be
like clanking? Is it like Tune Yards?
just
the
in-
band Tune
like
Yards?
Pain. It was just like some
Like
brutal punk
experimental shit.
Okay.
energy, pain, grinding
Next
noises.
time I bomb, I'm gonna be like, my comedy's kind of like noise comedy.
yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
it is.
just finding it.
So
yeah.
then they would do like 2 sets of that, and then they would have a comic on.
Oh,
Makes
bad.
no fucking
That's
sense, bro.
bad.
Yeah, it was rough.
So
yeah.
that goes back to my point that if it's like
I got tinnitus.
like great singer-songwriters and it's advertised well, it can be good. But
Yeah.
I say that about musicians, and I love musicians and worked with them, but it's like when you hear music come on at a restaurant, like it's barring its noise, like out, with the exclusion of it being off-key noise experimental.
non-musical at all. Just
Not musical
pain.
at
It
all.
was
Most
brutal.
people are fine with it. Like music is background and it's generally not offensive. But like for them, like then you put comedy in a restaurant and they hear like, so my mom died this week and I wanted to fuck her corpse or whatever. Like, you know, and the comics are laughing.
There's kids here.
There's kids
fucking
here.
kids
Like,
here.
and you shouldn't be talking about any of this in a place that sells chicken fingers.
I know. Sometimes they just put together shows and they just don't think about it.
I mean, some comics just don't understand that you don't have to do every show, and also not every place needs to have comedy either. You know,
Preach. Yeah.
All these Orlando comics that moved to Austin, I saw them recently post. They were all doing a show outside of Austin, and I think it was like Round Rock, Texas,
Yeah.
at a Hooters. And they were posting videos of it. There's no stage, there's no setup, there's just people doing comedy and people in the restaurant not paying attention while Hooters waitress walks
Here's
around.
the deal.
walks around.
Nobody can compete with tits at
No.
Hooters. Nothing.
No.
You could have a symphonic orchestra at Hooters. Nobody cares. You could have Dave Chappelle at Hooters, and men and people would still probably be like, I just want the tits. Like,
Hooters,
it
you go to a
doesn't-
place to just low vibration, immediately settle down.
Yeah.
Wings and tits, bro. We're
Yeah.
here we're here to have a good time.
Yeah, they don't want to think or do anything. No, but you're right. Like, it's like, or there's like, so many places too are like, we should do comedy here. And I'm like, you know what? We shouldn't, like, at all. Nothing about this makes any sense.
I've had a lot of people reach out to me trying to do Don't Tells in Orlando, and they're like, I have this place, and I'll go look at it. I'm like, no fucking chance. There's no fucking chance we're trying to do comedy here.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. You
Yeah.
know? Just because you have a room with stuff in it doesn't mean you can do a comedy show.
And
there.
you do kind of need to set the room up in comedy. Like, people don't realize how like much the room is contingent on, or the show's success is contingent on the room. Because it's like, if it's low ceilings, dedicated space, no distractions, no noise, right lighting, mic works, and a full house, or even a semi-full house, then it's like, okay, like there's no reason for you to bomb. But it's like that's how you know when like everybody's set up for success and you can really weed out who like does it. And
Yeah.
I did comedy at an outdoor hot dog joint in Santa Monica.
Hell yeah, dude.
No, hell yeah. It is fucking awful.
I did it at
I did a
outdoor.
minute and then I put the mic back in and there were 2 people there and they were both homeless meth addicts and it was on the road in Santa Monica and the poor girl is like brand new to comedy, but there's no stage. It's a hot dog joint that I think has gives people food poisoning.
It's funny when you show up to the gig because you don't they don't tell you that before you go.
No.
A lot of times they don't tell you.
Yeah.
And then you show up, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do it right there, and you're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Why? Why don't you do it right there? And like, no, it's better over here. I'm
No,
like,
it's better if
it's
you
not.
bother
No, it's
people
not,
while
yeah.
they're walking by to go shop.
Right.
There's
you're
that
like,
one
what-
show
what is this?
that they do? It's somewhere in Miami. I always see people doing it, and they're standing on the sidewalk,
Yeah,
like outside of
yeah.
like a pizza place.
Yeah.
I know what you're
And
talking
every
about.
time I see someone doing that, I'm like, why the fuck did you agree to that?
Don't have
Yeah.
to say yes
Why?
to everything. Yeah.
Like, why would you agree to that? That looks awful.
That's what I think makes our scene, the South Florida scene, like a little challenging because it's like even when there's a lot to do, I don't know if it's good
yeah.
to do it.
Quality
you
over
know?
quantity,
There's
right?
there's a lot of shows that I'm like, I just rather stay home, to be honest with you. I'd
Yeah.
rather not do anything.
Yeah. Then to get myself, now you feel like the fucking fool.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you brought yourself out of bed, you went to this comedy show, you actually wrote down a set list of things you wanted to do and work on. And then you show up and it's a hot dog joint outside in Santa Monica with no stage and 2 homeless people. And you're like, I'm the asshole.
I'm bothering people.
I'm bothering
Nothing
people.
worse.
I drove 35 minutes for this.
For this?
God damn.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, well, what do you think makes like a good comedy scene? I mean, you have Orlando, you've been here in Miami, you've run so many rooms in Miami too and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, what makes the scene good? Or what is our scene lacking really?
Seats that face the stage.
Which is so
How
obvious.
about we start
There
there?
are a lot
Yeah.
of shows that,
That'd be good.
like, I mean, like SLS is really a good room. But there's like a lot of the seats don't face the stage, you know? And people, instead of like turning their head, they'll just sit there and look at their friends instead of turning and looking
Oh
at
God
you.
bless.
Right.
One time, Cal Grooms was there. And
Yeah.
He was closing out the show and was a little stiff in that room, and for the same reason, he like just stopped the show like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And just had an entire couch like rotated. Because the ladies were not facing, and he's like, "You big man, get up, you're strong.
Yeah.
Lift this up and spin that over." And he like
good
started
for him.
redoing the seating, and then everyone like was like, "Oh, something's happening here."
Yeah.
And he, like completely changed the vibe and like helped it out.
Good for him. That's somebody who's been doing it, who's obviously hilarious and has been doing it a minute. Well, I think it's like it goes back to like how like artists have to like look out for themselves. Like how you said you don't have to do every show, or like you'll get hired for a private gig, and like they will put you in terrible conditions.
But
and-
those, it's like the money is worth it, you know?
Sure, but it's also like you're the expert in that moment. Like Jessica Kirsten had told me that. Like she's like, no, like you're the expert with those gigs, and like advocate for yourself and be like, do you have a mic and an amp? Does it work? Oh, you're gonna do the show over here? No, I'm not. I'm doing it over here, like as much as you can, because it's like. It is funny with comedians, especially. It is a little bit like, go play monkey,
Yeah.
play jester. You could do it, and then you
Do your little tricks right here.
exactly do your little skits, and then you want to kill yourself at the end. So.
Oh, dude, when they call it skits.
You can, like, you can
Fuck,
use that in your
dude.
little act.
Oh, fuck, man.
I have something that you should talk about on stage, and I go, I have things I should talk. I know what I have plenty of things.
I'm going to talk about you after on stage, but it's not going to be what you're thinking.
Yeah, that's
right
funny.
now, so.
I have something you should joke about on stage, and you're looking at the person, and you're like, I do too.
Yeah,
actually,
got it
yeah.
right here.
Do your parents support that you do comedy? Both of you? Uh-oh. Here
Dad
we go.
has no clue what's going on. Mom's cool. She's supportive.
Okay.
But kind of like in a, just don't. Hispanic women are so funny.
Yeah.
They're like supportive of everything because they just think anything horrible is gonna happen to you at any moment.
Yeah,
So
Italian
she's just
moms.
like, just don't get depressed, mijo.
I'm
like, that's
the
too-
worst case scenario.
It's like it's a little late for that, mom.
Yeah, you're like, how do you think I got in this shit?
Yeah, exactly.
You in depression. Right.
Yeah. No, they're supportive, but they're also just confused. They have no idea what it really is. So like, it's
Yeah.
not like, it'd be easier. I understand that you make it hard for them because it'd be so easy for them to support like a career,
Right.
You know, and this is like so different than one
Yeah.
normally. So
And it's the unknown. They don't understand what it takes to do it, get into it, succeed at it, or whatever.
Yeah,
like they
and-
do, but they don't. So that's why they're inclined to kind of be like, ugh, that's so funny. Don't get depressed. You're
Don't
like,
get
Mom,
depressed.
too late.
Yeah. Like, why do you think I fucking started? You know?
Yeah.
Well, your
Yeah.
parents are tapped into the culture to some extent. Like, they understand comedy. They understand what it is.
Yes.
Mine are like no clue. Like, they don't
Right.
know what it is because they're just Cuban immigrants. So
Yeah.
my mom is just like, I follow, but you just talk so fast. And I'm like, all right, I'll keep talking fast.
Yeah.
Fucking-
Yeah,
I
that's
can't
what-
explain this shit to you because it's just a different thing. But
No,
they're still
to-
supportive. They see it, you know?
Yeah, like they see that it's something that you care about, so that's why they're gonna have your back. Yeah, my parents were too. I mean, my parents are comedy fans, but they were. My dad was like, he won't admit it, but he was like very against it in the beginning. Like not, and he'll tell you, I'll never be against something my daughter wants to do, but he made it seem like it was impossible, couldn't ever sustain it. Like you're never gonna you're gonna starve in New York, and like was a big reason why I didn't do it for years when I knew I wanted to.
He made a good case.
He made a good case, and
It's kind of like
second
telling your
generation Italian immigrant parents scared me into like you're gonna die the second you do it. Yeah,
You're kind of like telling them that you want to be Steve-O from Jackass or something. Like they're just like, okay, you're gonna
yeah.
light your nuts on fire, and it's just like this can't be good for you.
This can't be good for you, right? Or you're never gonna, or it's a fat chance that you're gonna make it, or that you're gonna, you know, and I think all they needed to see was like proof of concept that it's like working, and now they're.
My
on
mom's funny
board.
because their perspective on comedy is like Hispanic comedians
Yeah.
and stuff. So when I first told her, she's like, "So, what, you're gonna dress like a woman?" Because you know, like
You're like, no, then I really won't get booked. Yeah.
she's like, "You don't know any people with, you don't have any friends with dwarfism. Where are you gonna find 6 nurses and a desk?" It's just they just think comedy's a different thing. I'm like, "No, Mom, stand up."
They think
She's
it's
like,
Que
"How
Pasa
are you?"
USA. Yeah.
I mean, what the? Come on, baby.
Yeah, they think it's like Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't even dress like a doctor. You can't. I'm like, oh, Mom.
Yeah, you're like,
please."
Mom, it's okay, just trust.
She's like,
me."
"You can't dance. How are you gonna be a comedian?"
Yeah. Well, where are my Cubans at?
Yeah, where are my Cubans
Where are
at?
my Cubans at?
I say my parents are. My mom is supportive of anything I do. Just
Yeah.
as long as I'm not like dying or getting arrested, she doesn't give a shit.
That's
She's
great.
like supportive of everything.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. You set the standard.
My dad is supportive because he's like a big stand-up fan, but
This is crazy
He's
because when I look
also-
at you, Shaw, I would think that you hate your parents.
no, I like my parents.
That's
So
great.
sometimes my dad sometimes, but
Yeah.
my dad is supportive, but he's very unrealistic. Like he's always like saying things like, if I'm like, oh, I'm going to do shows this weekend out of town, he's like, make sure it doesn't affect your job. Like you can't ruin your day job with this. I'm
That
like,
was my dad.
I fucking hate my day job. Like I don't give a shit.
Let
you
them
know?
fucking
Like,
fire me.
Also,
I don't
like I
care.
have PTO, motherfucker, or I work from home. I can still work. It's fucking fine.
I know.
Like he's
Yo,
just
that
he's a
is
fucking
sick.
idiot.
Yes.
He's just a fucking idiot. Like even
Yeah.
even this weekend, I was like, I'm coming down to do shows. He's like, make sure you're making more than you're spending in gas. I'm like, you don't fucking get it.
You don't
know?
understand
You don't
anything.
fucking get it. Like
Yeah. I did a show in Boca the other night where it's an hour and a half from Miami, 3 hours total minimum to commute there and
Yeah.
back. But it was opening for somebody, and like my father goes like, "How much are you getting paid?" And I'm like, $150. And he goes, "Oh fuck, it doesn't make sense. Don't do it." And I'm like, "You don't get like it's opening for someone, and that's just what it is when you're not. It's the juice is worth the squeeze."
Yeah, they see it like a construction job per diem. Like,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, it's not great, but what are you
And
gonna
there's
do?
something to that, I think, from
I've
that
got
generation.
PTO, Dad.
Right? Yeah.
yeah, it's like, well, I have days off, you know, like I
Yeah.
could, like I could, and the thing is, like he'll go and take days off in the middle of the week to go like see like Kiss in fucking Idaho or something. Like this is what he uses his paid time.
But
off
he's
for and
telling
spends
you to
his money
follow
on.
your passion
Yeah.
is stupid.
Yeah. He's like, oh no, you should do as many shows as possible, but you're gonna be out drinking and spending money and this. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
You're like, you just
shut
use
up.
PTO to watch 4 grown
Yeah.
men in makeup.
Yeah, I'm wearing a Kiss
Yeah.
shirt right now.
Play
That's
on
the
their
worst
guitar.
part, so.
Don't
Yeah.
waste all your
But-
money on makeup, Dad.
Right. Well, even my dad, like I just quit my radio job, right? And you guys know that. And and that's entertainment, and that's not that far off from what I want to do. It's not like it's people are like, "Oh, it's your day job." I'm like, I didn't get into it cuz I like needed a day job again. I got into it cuz I wanted to do radio, and
Yeah.
then it was like sick. I have benefits and a paycheck coming in every 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's pretty
Great. But even like when I was like, this is taking from comedy. Like it just is. I'm like tired all the time. I'm kind of bombing now too. Like I don't have the energy. I don't feel as creative. That my parents, it reverted right back. Like they were kind of like, I don't think that you should leave because comedy, you never know. And at least this, it's, it's stable. And it's like, and I was like, no, no, this is the conversation that we had 4 years ago that like almost stopped me. I would have started stand up way earlier.
Yeah.
Also, this is how you know your parents are old, because they think radio is more sustainable than stand-up
comedy.
too.
Someone in the
Like,
building.
radio will be around forever, sweetie. You know, everyone listens to the radio.
It's mass media. Yeah, literally.
You're in the air, Brittany.
Yeah, right. You're famous. I'm like, Mom, it's really hard to get famous when they can't even see your face at all.
Yeah.
They don't know. They would just call in the radio station and they would just be like, what did I win? And you're just like, and you're like, nothing, man.
You called fourth, buddy.
I'm calling for the Drake tickets. And you're like, we just gave those away. And then they're like, all right, well, fuck it. I'll do the $100 gift card to diesel gasoline. I'm like,
Just haggle you down.
just haggling me down. I'm like, you can't negotiate with me.
Okay, I'll take whatever else you have. Don't worry.
I'll take whatever else
How
you
about a
have. I'm like,
Wawa sandwich? God damn it, I'm busy here.
yeah. And even sometimes, like, you can tell when they do win. You're like, hey, how are you? They just go, I'm a caller 9, like, immediately. And you're like, what's your name? What city are you? Did I win? Like, just immediately. And then you're like, what radio station gave you this prize? And they're like, fucking 98.2 The Horse. And you're like, no, it's 99.1 Kiss FM or something. Like, it's like they don't even.
I call all of them, brother.
Right. Well, it's like a class of people that each radio station that they listen to is like their food stamps. Like, it's like their retirement plan. Like, there's prize pigs that, like, they just.
Yeah.
They don't even know what music you play. They're just like, what are you giving away?
My
Did I
dad is
get it?
always signing up for like crazy like sweepstakes and giveaways, but he's won like crazy things.
That's
off of
great.
it. But I remember growing up, he was just always listening to the radio, writing down stuff and trying to call in. I'm like, dude, you are a fucking crackhead about this.
The irony is I never entered a giveaway through a radio station, and I worked in radio. That's the irony.
It's just rough.
It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, my parents tried that. You know, you're right. They were like,
Stick to radio.
they were like, well, at least it's a definite, and it's money, and it's benefits. And I was like, Mom, since taking the leap to do comedy, I've been broke. I've lived with you guys after a pandemic.
Yeah.
I've had no health insurance and knock on wood, been fine. And I'm like, what's like the worst that happens when I leave this job? I go back to not having health insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay. Or having shitty health insurance
Yeah,
or whatever.
now's the time to do it.
Right.
But their parents, you know that pyramid of needs or whatever.
Yeah.
They're always looking out for like the first 3 layers: the food, the shelter, the basic thing, and then you're looking at for like the fulfillment and all that other stuff. There's no parent that's gonna be like, I think you're eating too much, but you really need to get out there and dance. Like they don't
I
give
can
a
think
fuck.
of 2 parents that probably said that to somebody.
Oh yeah, probably.
Where are my Cubans at? No,
Cubes.
I'm kidding. You set me up for that one. It's right there.
A little bit.
But yeah, and it's also like I look at the 2 of them, and it's like neither of them actualized any of their dreams either.
Well, because they couldn't.
Because they couldn't. I know they couldn't. They couldn't.
It's funny with my parents because they don't even understand the concept of a dream. They're just like, what do you?
I don't even know. I don't
What?
even know what my parents' dreams would have been either. You know, like
It's nothing. If they would have had dreams, even can they even
you know what?
think
Actually,
of a
I
dream?
think my dad's dream is for me to get famous so he doesn't have to work. But he's like, don't quit your day job. You
Yeah.
know,
Right, right. I think that's my mom's dream too.
My mom's dream's literally like I take her out to dinner one day.
That's
so
sad.
cute.
That's such an attainable dream too.
That's so cute.
Do you need to borrow $40?
I'm working on it.
That's so cute. It
Shaw,
is
help
true.
me out, buddy.
I brought my mom to like dingy ass bar shows in New York.
Anytime
and
you
stuff,
take 'em out.
and she's like, "Oh my god, she's
They're
doing
just full,
it!"
yeah.
And I'm like, "Mom, you have to understand that if you weren't here, I'd try to kill myself tonight. Like that's like it's like this is not the goal. This is not it." But yeah, I guess I guess you're right.
We're relatively young. We got those decade-long dreams, and they're very old. They got 10-minute dreams.
Yeah.
You know, I want to shower today and it doesn't hurt. I want to just go to bed and like not and stay asleep the whole night.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think there's.
I want my son to move out of my house.
I wish my daughter would just get the fuck away from me. Yeah. There's a simplicity, I think, to that generation too that I almost envy. Yeah. You're right. Like I envy because it's like, yeah, don't get me wrong, technology and everything we have and all the options available to us now, great, incredible. But it is overwhelming, and I do think it contributes to the sad depression that Oriel and I's moms don't want us to have because it's like, well, it's a lot harder to be fulfilled as an adult in 2024 when there's more, so you want more.
Makes you need more shit. Yeah.
You need more.
Yeah.
And then you have their generation where you're right. They were like, there's a roof, I can eat, and my family's here.
I don't think my dad like even thinks depression is real. I think he thinks it's like a millennial excuse to like be lazy.
To not
being a
work.
pussy.
Yeah. He's like, oh, just you're being a pussy, you know? Like,
Yeah.
He's like, stop sleeping till 11 a.m. or noon. I'm like, first of all, I was out doing shows till like 2 a.m. last night. That's why I'm sleeping.
I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm fucking tired. I'm not sleeping because I'm depressed, but also you're making me depressed acting like this, you know?
Yeah, that's also true. I remember I had like 2 years into comedy and I was just starting to like try to wean away from my safety net. I came home for Christmas break and money was rough. I remember I was in New York at the time and I was very in between what I was doing in comedy. And I was like, I'm kind of broke right now and like whatever. And my dad was like, well, you're home for 2 weeks, Christmas, rest. You can start updating your resume and applying, and you know what, you go back to New York with a job, and that's it. And I like lost it on him because I was like, no, you don't understand, like this is the job, this is it. I didn't just throw everything else away to go back to a day job.
Yeah, but parents are so ready for that moment. They're like, perfect, I got a dress shirt picked out for you.
Yep.
I got a laminated fucking pass for your card.
Yeah, that is true. They're also just
Perfect.
ready to be right
Got you
as
a
well too.
lunchbox.
Boomers are like,
yeah.
they want you to go out and try that dream and then come crawling. At least like Italian Hispanic families, like they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, we knew that was silly. Come back in.
Been
can
there,
move back
done
in.
that.
Told you so.
I told you so.
I told
move,
you so.
Move back in. Just stay. You know. Or my mom's solution to everything is to take a nap, which is hilarious.
I mean, that does help a lot.
That's how you live a long life.
It is, it's true. But I'll just be like, Mom, this went wrong and I got fired or everything's crumbling or whatever. And she's like, just lay down. Just take a nap. Just eat. You're hungry. That's what it is.
Just give up, honey. Just give up today.
Just give up. Yeah. I remember I knew my mom and their generation fucked them when I like signed with like managers and agents, and my mom was excited, and then right after she goes, okay, but like, you know, I also don't want you to be too busy.
Yeah. Make sure you save some time for me, sweetie. You know?
Literally. Or
Yeah.
it was like, but is this going to be too much? Because you do have the radio job. Or is this like, are you sure you want all these things? Or I don't know, you sure you want to be famous? Brittany, fame is danger. And I was like, oh man, what a limiting mindset. But again, it's like you can't hate your parents. They're also just trying their best too. And it's like all they know.
I mean, they're right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
This is a really dumb career. Are you ever on stage and you look out in the crowd and you're like, what the fuck am
what
I
am I
doing?
doing?
You're like, what is that?
Was it at the hot dog stand? Did you have that moment?
Yeah, actually, no. I've had it at nights at the Improv sometimes. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is crazy that 300 people are just, I could say whatever I want. Yeah, like this
where
is,
are my Cubans at?
and they're all in Miami, like, right here. Yeah, we're
Lived
right
here
in-
my whole life. I'm like, what do you mean?
They never went away. Yeah.
I've never even been to Cuba, but I'm here.
But I'm here right now. Okay, this was great. We're going to close the show. My podcast is called Big Yikes because I like saying that. Big Yikes. And I like, what is a big yikes moment recently that either of you have had? It could be like, you really embarrassed yourself, or like, you really like learned a lesson, had to apologize. That's my favorite because I love apologizing when I'm wrong. I refuse to do it
When you're right.
If I genuinely in my heart of hearts think I didn't do anything, I probably still say sorry and then kick myself in
But
the
you
head
won't
for
just
it.
say it to diffuse the situation and end it.
I did it recently and I hated myself for it. I did it at work with a former coworker where I really didn't think I was wrong, but I didn't want her to be a toxic piece of shit. So I was like, sorry. I'm sorry. And I knew, and then that's when I was like, I gotta go. Because I just like compromised myself. Like I like said sorry when I really don't think I did anything wrong. But yeah, what's a big yikes moment?
I got one. I started a new job recently, and on my first day, one of my coworkers walked in on me taking a shit. My first fucking day, I was like, "Do I have to quit now? Like, do I have to quit?
Do I leave town?
Do I have to quit?
What's the
Fuck."
protocol? Was it a girl or a guy?
It
who
was a
walked-
guy, but it was like literally my first day there. I was like, I don't know if I can show back up tomorrow. Like,
And he could smell it.
oh, I was like fighting for my life in there. So
Can we also talk about how like shitting for dudes is like an Olympic event?
It is, because some
Guys
of our
don't-
most meaningful moments in life are shits.
What?
I shit my
I don't know
pants.
about that, dude. No wonder you haven't taken your mom to dinner yet.
I'm
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
I'm busy. What are you
He's like,
talking
sorry, mom, I'm too busy having an epiphany in here while I'm taking a shit.
Yeah.
Thinking about how I'm reflecting on all the bad times in my life and how it all led up to this.
I'm having
It
a
was
real
all
thinker.
worth it.
Yeah.
And she's over here afraid that you're gonna get depression, and you're like, I have it. I just have it in the bathroom.
She's like, I just wanted to go to Olive Garden once with you. Just wanted you to pay.
No time, Mom.
I wanted you to pay for Red Lobster one time.
No time. Also, that'll make me shit even
Yeah.
more.
I'm
Red
on the
Lobster.
cusp.
You've had your most pivotal moments from shitting?
Yeah. I mean, I shit my pants the first 20 minutes of high school.
Like day
ninth,
one.
ninth grade, day one.
You were that nervous?
Yeah. I was nervous. I ate
It's like,
some
oh my God, they're gonna bully me.
Yeah.
I hope I don't shit myself.
bubble bubble.
Did you go home or
So what happened
did you
was
just throw your underwear out and raw dog the rest of the day?
yeah. Hell yeah. So I thugged it out because nobody trusts you day one. They just think you're like a little shithead trying to get out of class.
Right.
So I sat down, and in my first class was like this horrible Spanish lady. She didn't want anyone getting out, and immediately I just started having like, oh god. And she just like was like, no, you're not. I'm CSI. And then I just sat there. I started
That
having
is
like,
very illegal to not let you go to the bathroom.
no, she's a demon. She's a demon. I started having like pregnancy contractions, and I was like, I can handle this.
Oh my God! Did you just say
And
I started having like you would know what pregnancy contractions are?
I'm sorry. Did you take the shit I just took? No. All right. So
That is funny because men are always like, I just gave birth in there.
yeah,
Fucking just gave
it
birth.
was fucked up.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know where the bathroom was.
Well, yeah, because you're new.
So I just kind of like got up sweating. I didn't say shit, and I just walked out. And then I kind of wandered for a minute.
With shit in your pants.
Yeah.
And did anybody see or find out?
I'm sure everybody saw. I was literally I
I
had
think you
to.
blacked out
he was
from this
wearing white
experience.
It was
that
a
day.
it was a rough
He
moment.
was
I
wearing
just
white
love-
capris.
The dress code was not.
I love that. I'm like, what's a moment where you guys are like, as a human being, really vulnerable, and that you want to, and you guys both had stories about shit. Like, this is phenomenal.
Because it's the great equalizer. Let's be honest.
Everybody
I mean, you can be a
shits.
billionaire. You could be the Pope. You're gonna shit yourself at some
I
point.
will say I have a boundary with guys that I date. I don't like to immediately start farting, and I definitely don't want them to see me shit. I try to avoid it if I can, but I'm not one of those girls that's like, I don't fart. I'm like, ugh.
I had an ex.
Starfish.
I had an ex that I lived with in New York that we lived in a studio, and she would make me leave the house if she had to shit.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I don't want you knowing when it's happening.
Yeah, I'm like, you can just run the shower. I think you're taking a shower. I don't care.
I don't care. And then you walk in and you're like, who the fuck took
Yeah.
a dump in
Yeah,
this
who took a dump in
sauna?
here?
Yeah.
The water bill.
Water bill's crazy.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
used to. She wouldn't shit in front of me, so every time she was going to the bathroom, I'd be like, "You going to take a shit?" No wonder she dumped me. But yeah,
Yeah. That's not sustainable to live with every day.
No.
Yeah.
That's fun though. That's like but that's a significant moment now. The fact that you don't do it at the beginning means that when you do it,
You really ripped the seal.
I also had a.
he calls mom. He's like, she did it. She shat.
Yeah, yeah.
I
saw
had
her.
a girlfriend that
She's
would
like, oh,
shit with
please,
the
I've been
door
married for
open.
30 years. Call me when she finally sucks your dick. Yeah.
I had another girlfriend that would shit with the door open, and like that was too much. You need like a happy medium there.
That's
know?
what I'm
Like,
saying. Yeah, like, don't be a prude about it and be like, I never do it. It's like, we're all human. It is the great equalizer.
Yeah.
But also, like, you got to have the veil a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta
And I'm
try.
pretty fucking disgusting. And even I will say when I'm dating somebody, I won't. I'm like, no. What about any big yikes moments for you, Oriel?
Well, it happens to everybody. I want to say, and I don't want to fault myself for it, but
Shitting. You
yeah,
already
recently
told the shit
recently
pains.
hooked up with a lady. I was a little drunk, and it just wasn't working.
Your
you know?
dick?
Yeah, and then I just felt like,
Did you tie a popsicle stick to it?
well,
Wait.
I should have. I should have.
No, that's not a real thing. That was just
Like one of those
I
thumb
was about to
splints,
say,
like
no
a-
wonder
like a
I have
little thumb splint,
splinters
yeah,
in my
yeah.
pussy.
Yeah.
a thumb splint. Just trying
Yeah.
to give her the rubber band, man. So
I was nervous, bro. It had been a while, so I was like in my head, and then I guess she got in her head because sometimes they get like offended.
Yeah, we do. We could be like, oh, he's not into it or something.
And it's like I'm not
do you
into
not
it.
think I'm hot? You're like, no, I want to fuck you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
just
why I'm here.
I'm just nervous.
Yeah.
I know that sounds more gay, but
I know.
She's like, now I don't want to fuck you,
you
actually.
just gave me the ick. Get out. Get the fuck out.
Limp dick, get the yick. God damn it.
Well, how was she? Was she cool about it?
She was cool about it. She was more mature about it, but I was like extremely like I didn't know how to handle myself in that moment. So I didn't know if I was just gonna keep like trying like kayfabe it like a pro wrestler to kind of just like I didn't do that. I said no, because that's just going to be horrible. And then, it's just fucked up when you just both stand up.
And he just like puts his hands on his hips. He's like,
Well,
shit. Well,
where are my Cubans at?
I gotta go. I think I left my kids in the car.
Yeah. No, but I found myself being surprisingly like genuine. I was just like, listen, I'm sorry. It is what it is.
I like that. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I am. I'm not proud of your dick, but I'm proud of you.
No, neither was I. My dick
Yeah.
wasn't proud of me either. He's like, you could have tried.
You know what? I will give men tap tap. I will say, I think that women can be. I'll leave you with this. Women can be harsh on male genitalia and sexual. We can be savages.
They treat it like a phone without service. They're like, why doesn't this fucking thing work? You're like, come. There's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like this is.
She's using your dick like, is this thing on?
Yeah.
Like,
Fucking bullshit. You're like,
I love when it happens. Like, did you just like not want to fuck me? I'm like, no, I spent $200 on drinks for us all night just because I like your company.
I'm gonna bill my dick for that bar tab and make it pay.
Limp dick strikes again.
Limp dick
Another
strikes
one in the
limp
book.
biscuit, but no, we are a little rough. Like, granted, men, you guys also too. Like, I hate when I hear men like rate women. Like, she's a 4, and I'm like, shut up.
She's a 4, but I'd still fuck her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm like, you probably still get there 4 or 9. Your dick won't work.
Yeah.
So, but we can be a little like passing around photos, the dick pic photos that are sent, and
Oh, God
ripping
forbid.
it apart.
Never.
And
No.
oh my God, he can't get it up. He didn't fuck. Can't make me go. We can be a little evil. With
You guys
that.
have your own Yelp. It's fucking crazy.
I wish we did, because sometimes I don't want to waste the time getting to know a guy if the sex is going to be bad.
Dick Yelp, yeah.
But I also feel like girls have the issue where like they'll start texting with the guy and he's like, I can't wait to fuck you till you can't even walk anymore. Then they see them and the guy's like, hi, like,
Yeah.
hi, like nervous to even talk to them.
Yeah, well, it's like, don't talk to them. Well, that's like, I just feel like anybody in comedy or life or anything, you welcome so much shit for yourself.
Yeah.
When you have that hubris, you're almost asking for people to look at you and scrutinize you or go too hard on you, because if you're talking that big of a game, that it's like, well, now you're almost setting a standard you can't even meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's like a dead giveaway. You're not going to meet that standard.
No, I mean, that's not at all how I fucking operate. You know?
Was she hot?
Yeah, super hot. That's why I was so mad.
Where's
'cause
the
I was-
photo of her? Show me.
Shut up. I'll show you later.
She
Was
goes
it a
to another
comic?
school, you don't know her.
Was it a comic?
No.
She goes
Have
to
you
another
ever fucked a
school.
comic?
I'm not answering this question.
I'm not answering that question.
That's
That was one of the hot. That was one of the hot sauce ones I got.
I'm not answering this question.
It was a
So that's a
sabotage.
yes. Yeah. So have I.
Yeah, I'm not answering this
No,
question.
yeah, we know.
Okay. No. Where can people follow you guys on socials?
Sorry.
Now's a good time.
Where are my Cubans at?
In my bed, apparently. Where can people follow you guys on socials?
At Limp Dick Pants Shitter. No. At Oriel, OLORIELOL on everything. That's my main thing.
Okay, Shaw.
Yeah, at Shaw on Instagram.
Damn, you got the
Easy
triple
enough.
Shaw there.
Yeah.
Sick.
All right. Thank you, dude.
Thank you, Brittany.
Dudes. Love you guys.
Love
Keep
you.
listening.
Love you.
Take it easy.
Appreciate it.